Alex Ansary here, bringing you a breaking solar flare update for July 12, 2012. Now in the last week we've seen two X-class solar flares. That's the largest type of solar flare. And right now we're looking at Sunspot region 1520. It's just fired off an X1.4 flare, and it's being reported that it's set to hit the Earth directly. A CME has manifested and it's earthbound. Now forecasters are expecting the cloud to arrive on Earth July 14th, and its impact could spark moderate to large and severe geomagnetic storms, allowing auroras to be seen at lower latitudes than usual. Now, what they call R3 radio blackout storms, they're currently in effect, and at this time there's been no published FAA warnings to high-flying aircraft. The U.S. Air Force has placed a warning to military and civilian satellites to be placed into protective mode, and NASA has notified the ISS astronauts to take their positions within onboard protective shields. Some writers are also saying to watch for extreme weather events to continue over the next 72 hours, and the reason for that is it takes 72 hours for a solar flare to reach the Earth. This could occur in several forms: straight-line winds, tornadoes, hurricanes, as well as Earth-core-related events such as earthquakes and volcanoes. So this solar flare that I just read to you, the X.14 flare, that just kicked off several hours ago, but we also saw a lot of activity last week, earlier this week, around the time of the 4th. So far, the strongest solar flare of the summer of 2012 erupted just a few days ago on the 6th of July, and that's the latest in a series of powerful storms that occurred this week. That was registered as an X1.1, one of the strongest types of flares possible. It came from Sunspot region AR 1515, which fired up to 18 solar flares in the days prior to that X-class solar flare, and this included a M5.3 class solar flare that peaked on the 4th of July. So online you can find a lot of reports about what they call the 4th of July solar flare fireworks. So space weather scientists were already closely watching the sun, so the X flares that we're seeing now did not come as a surprise. That sunspot region stretched over 18,000 miles, 118,000 miles rather, across the surface of the sun. That's longer than 15 Earths end to end. And that was the 5th X-class solar flare for the year, so the last one brings the count up to 6. The Daily Mail is also reporting that one blast disrupted radio communications in Europe. So we've seen a lot of reports about solar flares and the potential for increased solar activity affecting our grid in some way, shape, or form. We're already seeing evidence of that. The current solar cycle, by the way, is not going to come to completion or come to its maximum on December 21st, 2012. In reality, the current solar cycle is not expected to peak until the summer of 2013. And for some of you that are new to some of this information about solar flares and how they could possibly affect our Earth, for a detailed breakdown, you can search on Google for my 2009 article entitled, quote, Solar Cycle 24 and Our Earth's Weakening Magnetic Field. So instead of the cycle now ending, it seems that things are now escalating, and in fact things have just begun to become very, very interesting. For the UNN Newsroom, I'm Alex Ansary.